15 inches of overhang on one end times 2 will give us 30 inches, which is the combined overhang on the roof. 30 inches times a scaling factor of 0.0114 equals 0.342. We'll add 0.342 to the dimension that we pull for the length of the wall. Okay, the length of the wall is 2510. So our final dimension for the width should be 2.852 inches. So we've set that on our caliper, and we'll put this in place, and that looks correct for the overhang. Okay, the overhang on the side walls, over the side wall, is 24 inches. So we multiply 24 times the factor 0.0114, we get 0.274. And the length of this is 1.521 plus 274 is 1795. And we'll take a check on that and see how it looks. Okay. I'm ready to start the roof assembly. Now that we have the dimensions all established for the roof and the pieces cut out, we need to make the roof removable. We have a solid floor in the building, so if we ever needed to access anything while we were working on installing the windows, with the roof glued on, we wouldn't be able to do any work on the interior. So we'll make the roof a removable component. To do that, I'm going to make some triangular pieces that will fit in and match the angle of the roof. And then these will get glued across the roof on the interior, and then it'll be a solid structure that can be taken in on and off of the roof. Okay, here's how I've laid out this cut. I measured 7 feet over from this edge and 7 feet over from this edge. I then used my setup on my saw to cut this, then I flipped it over, and then I cut this angle. I'm going to do the same thing on this side, and that'll give me at least 2, and possibly I can get 2 more out of this opposite side. Here's my setup for cutting the interior triangles for the roof. I've matched the angle of the roof against the saw blade. Then I've set my angle on my crosscut guide to match the floor of the wall of the building and locked it down. This is how I've laid out my lines for cutting out the triangular roof supports. I measured from this edge to here as 7 feet. I then drew a vertical line at that point. I placed my part in the saw at that 7-foot position, and then I ran it through the saw, cutting off this angle here. I then determined what the height of this distance was here, and I drew a line across the board at that height. I then similarly measured back 7 feet from this side and drew another vertical line. I've repeated all of those same markings on the back of the piece as well, because you have to work from both sides when you're cutting. So after I cut this side by going through, I then flip the piece over and cut this, and then cut this angle from the point until it got past this line. I'm going to repeat that process. I'm going to repeat that process on this half. And then my final cut will be straight across on this line here. That'll should yield 2 triangles, and then I can repeat the same process on this side.